So a couple of months ago I made a video about rFactor 2. That video consisted of me saying that rFactor 2 wasn't quite the sim for me, and after the video I received quite a few choice comments about being a silly little YouTuber who didn't understand the sim. So I decided to uninstall rFactor 2 and I haven't touched it since. Until recently. I've decided to jump back into rFactor 2, download some of the player-made content and see if I can change my mind on rFactor 2. So, I'm Gavin, welcome back to the channel, and let's get into it. So, welcome back to rFactor 2. Last time we were in rFactor 2, I just drove whatever was installed in the base game and whatever I thought looked fun. So we got some BTCC cars, we got some Renault Clio Cup cars, and I think we drove a NASCAR as well, and it was mostly a disaster for me.
Oh, we touched! No, save it, save it!
But I've delved through the Steam Workshop and downloaded a bunch of high quality content for us to try today, and I'm driving something I know how that car feels. Well, at least in the virtual world. So we're going to simulate some of the British GT at one of my favourite UK tracks, Alton Park, in the McLaren 650S against a class of 30 other GT3 cars. So let's see how this goes. So here we are, rFactor 2, McLaren 650S, GT3 cars. And that is an amazing launch for us. We're going to go around the outside of that McLaren. The Porsche's just going to cut us off, so we're going to have to get down onto the brakes. A little bit messy into turn one. Try and hang it around the outside onto the AstroTurf on the outside, get a little bump from the McLaren, and we are away. Oh, I've got a car on the inside here. Oh dear, it's another Porsche. Already, the force feedback feels really good. So much better than it felt the first time. I've really taken the time to find some settings that I can get dialed in and make the game feel much better, because that was one of the things I didn't like about the first time I tried rFactor 2 was, you know, the feeling of the wheel just felt like I was clipping and losing detail sometimes through the corners. Obviously now I have changed my gear since the last time I tried rFactor 2. I've gone from a Thrustmaster T300 up to the Fanatec CSW 2.5 with the Ferrari Formula 1 eSports wheel. That could add to it. I mean, it's definitely feeling a lot heavier. I've got a lot more power through the wheel this time, but you know, I can just feel detail. I don't feel like I'm clipping at all. Also, Alton Park in GT3s is a combination that I have driven across quite a few sims, quite a few times. It's a big favourite of mine on ACC for when I do drive ACC, and I love driving it also on AMS2, a game that I have regularly installed. We are going backwards a little bit here. Let's try and knuckle down and get ahead of ourselves. Or at least ahead of the Bentley. This is a night and day experience from the last time I played rFactor 2. Absolutely night and day. Let's go get that McLaren. A little bit squirrely on the exit, but I felt all of that. You know, although you may have driven a car and a track a lot in one sim, sometimes in another sim it can feel completely different. Not in a bad way. This feels great. Whoa, big moment for me there. As we lose another position. Now, I never said I was a good driver or a great racer. So really, why should you listen to my opinion at all? Go get that Porsche. Always love using that curb on the outside there, because you can use it to extend that track as much as possible. And if you touch that grass, you're going at such a speed there that it is game over for you. You're probably going to spin the car. Now I know this content is a pack of GT3s I downloaded from the Steam Workshop, and overall they look good. They behave fantastically. The sounds are not perfect. It's not ACC level of sounds. That's alright, they are serviceable. What I was looking for here is just the driving experience, and that has been massively changed now. I can wholeheartedly say rFactor 2 is really, really impressing me here. Now, I may not be doing any impressing with my driving, but this is, it feels so engaging to drive. You feel connected with the car. I feel every little thing that the car's doing, and I can react to it. I don't feel like I'm gonna, you know, have one of those iRacing spins where you don't really know what happened and you can't save it. This is brilliant. This feels fantastic. The force feedback is so detailed. The AI is pretty good as well. They're quite handy, they're pretty quick, although there is a big gap between me and the cars behind. My go-to track racing sim at the moment is certainly AMS2, but I could see myself using rFactor 2 a lot more. I don't think the GT3 cars in AMS2, for example, are fantastic, and I'm not ACC's biggest fan. I mean, this is brilliant for driving GT3 cars. It's got good AI. Look, they're fighting 2, almost 3 wide up there. And they're pushing me. Oh, as we have a massive accident. There's a backwards McLaren. Huge accident. And just as I was talking about how great the AI was, they go and have a absolutely monumental incident into the chicane, or at least oh my god, and I get punted off by a Porsche. Well, better keep my mouth shut about the AI from now on, because they might do something disastrous like that. You know, I love online racing. I had an iRacing subscription until very recently, but sometimes you just like to relax and do a bit of AI racing. You have more control over an AI racing. You can set up your own championships, which is something I love to do. I just don't make videos about it. So it's nice to have AI that are pretty racy. You can get out there and go race them. But that Porsche is going to go on the inside, so I'm going to just cover him off. I'll leave him the room if he wants it. If he wants it! Oh, it's so bumpy. But I love that. I love being able to feel the bumps, hitting over a bump. You can feel the car let go loose a little bit. But then it's savable. Oh, the Porsche's gone off above me. Like I said, if you miss that curb and you go off into the grass, it's a disaster. Nice and tight on this corner, just to give him the space. Look at that. You know, I think AMS2 is the only game where I've really raced the AI side by side like that. We are on the last lap of the race. It's only a 6-lap race. A little short one because I'd like to try something else in this video. Let's see if we can go get this guy through the chicane. I'm usually pretty quick through the chicane. Favourite place to do this chicane, iRacing, in the MX-5. So you can just send it through the chicane. I mean, I always hit the inside tyres, but you can send it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm going to get rear-ended here. Right on the last lap, the Bentley has a monumental accident. I've lost a position of it. There you go, there you can see. The rear end just went. Quick little bit of counter steering. And it's easy to control. Incident. Thank you, Bentley. Oh, the Porsche's gone round. Whoa, we just about make it through. This feels like an online race. Way! Almost a complete opposite lock there as we come across the finish line. And that is our first race today on rFactor 2. Well, that was absolutely awesome. That was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Let's try something else. So next up, I thought we'd try something different. We're going to chuck some prototypes in, we're going to chuck some GTE cars in, and we're going to do a mini endurance race, well, 6 laps, around one of my favourite tracks, the Dubai Autodrome. Think of that. I have the perfect shirt for this. Give me 1 second. Perfect. So here we go, rFactor 2, LMP2. Bit of a random grid, so we are starting from the back. But we're going to try and make up as many places as we can. This is not a good start to try and do that. Bit of chaos through here. Oh, game's not liking this, chugging a little bit. I don't want that to be unfair on rFactor 2 because so far, through all my testing and playthrough, I've had no performance issues whatsoever. And I've even turned down some graphical details, but wow, the performance is chugging here. Hopefully it'll just catch up with itself and be alright. Okay, we're through. Have to split this Ferrari just here. He's squeezing me. Oh, Ferrari beats me on the brakes. Oh, the performance is not great. And I am in last. The performance of the simulator and my PC versus my driving, and the performance is just about holding up now. It's definitely struggling with, oh, I didn't even see that coming. It's definitely struggling with a few more cars being on the screen. 32 is a little bit much. This is getting chaotic. But it's fun, now that the game's stabilized a little bit. Let's talk about the car. The LMP2 car, this is the 2016 field, I think. The car's great fun to drive. I think I do slightly prefer the GT3 cars, but this thing just has so much power, but also so much downforce. It's just, you know, you can really throw it through some of these fast pace and stuff. It's a really good fun car to drive. I would highly recommend it if you're really into your prototypes and stuff. Not sort of the cars that I usually drive, but man, it is it's very capable and really good fun to drive. And just like we had in the GT3 cars, I've got great detail coming through the wheel. I can feel when I've got a bit of a slip and a slide on. I can feel the understeer there coming through the wheel. I'll squeeze out this GTE car. Oh, massive bouts of understeer there. As I get clattered by a Ferrari. Having this many cars on and having a mixed up grid is fun. The performance is tanking a little bit. That's my fault for pushing the limits of my computer too far. But again, like I had in the GT3 cars, I can feel when the car is about to slip. I know how far I can push the car before I then have to counter steer and basically rescue it. You know, it just adds to the fact that when you give rFactor 2 something it really is good at, and some good content, it really does shine. And then this track also shines. This is one of my favorite tracks in the world. I think it's such a criminally underrated track. So much fun to drive, so much variety, technical sections, this nice big bowl. The track is just so much fun. You can also, this game has mapped the bumps in the track really, really well. I think this is a port from Race Room, but it's been really well adapted for rFactor 2. I'm not saying it's wonderful just because it is the track that's closest to my house. I really think this is an absolutely fantastic track to drive. I think this one looks better than the Race Room one, if it is a Race Room conversion. Now the performance is sort of stabilized, even though we're in cars. I know it's still chugging a tiny bit, but I do have a very old graphics card in my computer. So trying to push it to do 32 cars on a track, this detailed of a simulation that rFactor 2 does, it's a bit of a push. Anyway, we come on to lap 3. Gonna have to slip by this Porsche here. I mean, even with a few performance issues, this is still proving to be an absolute blast. Oh, avoiding action, that's what we're gonna call that cut. These LMP2 cars are really good fun. Oh, went way too deep into the corner and I'm going to lose 2 positions there. Back down to 25th. This is great racing though. Really, really fun. Once again, hats off to the AI in rFactor 2. They are really racy. maybe gotten turned up a little bit too much for my skill level. Again, this is one of my favourite corners here, because if you take too much of it, you lose too much time, because you slip. I mean, this is brilliant. I think I should issue a formal apology for my previous video slating rFactor 2. Now, it's not perfect. Yes, I'm having a very enjoyable driving experience. One of my gripes last time was about the monetization, and people have pointed out that yes, every game charges for DLC. Yeah, they do. I have no problem with paying for DLC. I bought the season pass for AMS2, and I have all the DLC for ACC, because they were reasonably priced for the content I was getting. The British Touring Car Pack for rFactor 2 is too expensive. And for a sim that is... I'll be careful with my words here, otherwise the rFactor 2 fans will come at me. Not as popular as maybe it used to be. Overcharging for DLC is just greedy. And it's going to turn people off your game. That BTCC car and track pack, or at least the two combinations of them, the content is supposed to be fantastic. I watched lots of people that I trust talking about how good the content was. And I haven't bought it yet because it's so expensive. And I love British touring cars. I think they're absolutely awesome. But the content's too much money, man. I think motorsport games, and again, I'm not putting it on Studio 397. It's definitely down to motorsport games. I was definitely wrong about my first reactions when playing rFactor 2. In the right content and track, it's fantastic. I know that's not a hot take. People have been playing rFactor 2 and rFactor for a very long time and will rightly call me an idiot. But I just hadn't found what I liked yet in the game, and oh, we go for a big spin. Almost a big spin. Big slide. This is a really, really enjoyable experience, and I've had a good time with rFactor 2, and I'm definitely going to keep it installed, mainly because it's not a big installation package. I mean, the force feedback is wonderful. Once I've got it, it took me a while to get it tuned in Fanalab and in the game, but with the help of, you know, the internet, managed to get it feeling where I really, really know what's going on. There have been no surprises with the force feedback, which does happen in some games, you know. Something goes wrong and you can't quite figure out why, but oh my god, that's what you call a last-ditch overtake. We're gonna get him here. I don't care if I to steer into him. Oh, he's gone for the switchback. That was brilliant. Well, good racing. Well, there you go. There's the checkered flag. We finish in P25. That was exhilarating. I'm definitely going to have to try the LMP2 cars again, because that was absolutely wild fun. So there you have it. I have changed my mind on rFactor 2. I didn't think it would be possible, but, you know, I really enjoyed my time with rFactor 2. I found that to be really engaging. I had loads of detail. It was really, really fun to drive, and I'm going to leave it installed because, you know, every now and then I might just want to jump in and have a really good GT3 race. I'm planning on getting involved with some more content, downloading some more content, and seeing what else there is to have in rFactor 2. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what's great on rFactor 2 and give it a try. Maybe for another video, because if you like this one, give it a like and maybe I'll do another rFactor 2 video. But that'll do it for the video. Like I said, if you like the video, drop me a like, drop me a subscribe. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. All the links to my socials will be down in the description below, and until next time, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.